Bayan.
Coming at you with a in-transit video. Prior to getting started, I want to give all glory, honors, and prayers unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Ba'ashem. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.
Alright? And this particular video is going to be predicated on the fact of, are you ready, man? Alright? Jake see these prophecies, happening. Major prophecies are getting ready to pass. We're using these prophecies to measure times, okay, to measure where we are, in the return of our Lord coming back. But nevertheless, are you ready for what come with that? Okay, because contrary to popular belief, we have to go through persecution for believing in on the Lord, man. Alright, the things in which we speak so greatly and so boldly in the face of our oppressors, right? Esau, Edom, and the rest of the 17 nations, right? We gotta stand on those things unto death. And you have to be ready to die, man. This is a serious thing in which we are partaking in. So in this video, there's going to be a lot of commentary. We're going to bring out a couple scriptures, and Lord willing, to be edifying to the 144,000 and those that cling unto the body, man. But start me off with what that was you had. That was Matthew 4.
Yeah, Matthew 5.
Yeah, you bring it out.
This is the book of Saint Matthew, chapter 5, verse 10. In this real letter, say how it shall speak. It says, "Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven."
Right. So, in order to reach the kingdom of heaven, one must be persecuted. You see? And actually, the Lord look at that and smiles. All right? You're standing boldly. You're standing, firm. You believe. You see? You believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, and the only thing, what separates us from the world is we're willing to die, right, for what we believe in. And it matters. That matters, man. And also, I'm gonna get you to hold on deck. Second Maccabees 6, somewhere. I know to type in. You can just type in Bacchus and then come on down a little bit.
B-A-C.
You see?
I got a quick one for you.
Go ahead. I'm going to search this one.
Back what you just said, the Lord, smiling at us putting our life down, for the Lord. Because ultimately, as everybody should know, the Lord put his life down for us.
Right.
Okay? But this is the book of St. John, chapter 15 and 13. Again, real letters, how it shall speak. It says, "Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay his." It's like John 15 and 3. "Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends." All right, and we know that the Lord called us friends. We're brothers. Okay, and the Lord again has laid down his life for us. So this time of us carrying our cross, if it comes down to it, some men will have to put down their life for the Lord,
And it's written in the scriptures, man.
Yep.
You found that one in Revelations?
Revelations 2?
No, the beheading. The beheading.
No, I didn't get that one.
But shit, don't worry about it, man. We kind of pressed for time a little bit. But nevertheless, hey, they got some of us that, will be martyrs, man. Go ahead, you can bring it out. Go ahead.
This is the book of Revelations. No, it's not that. But I got the word martyr for you too.
Yeah, go ahead and grab that.
This is the word martyrdom in online etymology. It says torture and execution for the sake of one's faith. A state of suffering for the maintaining of any obnoxious cause.
That's right, man. And that's the ultimate sacrifice. Dying, okay, for this truth. Are you ready for that? Are you ready to see your family, being persecuted, okay? Being tortured, being killed because of what you believe in? Are you ready for that? Your kids, right? For brothers that have kids, man. In order, for to persuade you to denounce, Yahushua, to denounce Yahweh, to denounce your belief, okay, in this truth. Are you ready for that, man? And that's a question that we must ask ourselves daily. At any given time, these Edomites, which according to, I believe it's Revelations 12, if I'm not mistaken, it tell you this devil gonna come down with great wrath against the woman and her seed for the testimony of Yahushua Mashiach, man. It ain't saying her seed and that's it. No, the ones that hold the testimony, all right, the truth, the ones that believe in, okay, the ones that are warning and awakening the elect. That's who that is coming out on. That's who it's intended for. Go ahead, Doc.
And I was right on top of it. I just missed the part where it said we hit it. This is Revelations 20 and 4. It says, and I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua, and for the word of Yahushua, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads, or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with a Mashiach 1,000 years.
Man, listen. When you read these scriptures, you gotta, envision things, man. Right? It's essential because why would, an average Joe be getting beheaded?
Right.
They might not agree with what's going on in society. They might not like that. DJ Donald Trump is going to war, and it's for the small hats and things of that nature. They don't, you got Edomites that do that.
Right.
It specifically stated those that believed on the truth.
Yeah.
You see? Go ahead.
If I can add too, because the point being, with the times that we're coming in, pretty much we're going to be considered as enemies of the state.
That's right.
Okay, so if you're not with the cause of America, with these wars, NWOs, all of these things that they have going right now, at some point in time, they're going to try to severance any dealings that's coming against them. Whether it's inside of their country or not. But that's the point. We know that us sticking with the Lord, we've chosen our side against Esau, Edom, and so-called white men, which could lead to death for many brothers and sisters who believe.
I'm gonna take a long way home, kind of finish the video and shit like that. But nah, man, this is the fine print, right? That Jake forgets sometimes because we have the opportunity to dwell within the comfort of brothers, right? To fellowship with Akim, you know what I'm saying? Read when we want to, things of that thing. We have that opportunity, but Jake forget that troubling times are looming in the distance.
Yeah.
You see, troubling times are not far from us. Okay, and that's the times that's gonna truly, test men's faith. Jay think it's all about going out on Saturdays, conference calls and things of that nature, which it is about that, but that other 50% is about to come into play. Are you willing to die for this truth, for Yahushua, for the ministry, for the belief in the ministry? Okay? Yeah.
This is the book of Saint Matthew. This is like in Mark chapter 8 in 34. It says, and when he had called the people unto him with his disciples, also he said unto them, red letters, Yahweh Shai speaking now. Whosoever will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. All right. So taking up your cross, you know, all of the burdens and, you know, that comes with, you know, following the Lord, you know, being hated, being, you know, put to death, being cast into prison, you know, which we're going to get that as well. But again, you have to deny yourself and follow the Lord, you know, pick up your cross. But it says, verse 35, for whosoever will save his life shall lose it. But whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel is the same shall save it. All right. And that could be, you know, definitely 100% spiritually, but it can also be physical as well. Okay. If you think that you're going to save your life, if you think you're going to be able to run away from the actual destruction, none of that's not going to happen, man. All right. You can't run from the Lord. We got to counter that with Jonah. You know, you can't run away from it. Okay, but it says again, you know, whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel is the same shall save it. All right. So if you go down for the Lord, man, you pretty much save your life, and you know, you got yourself written in history as a martyr of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai.
Because that's the end all be all.
Yeah.
You see, the scriptures tell you in the book of Matthew, hey, fear not the man that could kill a body, but fear the man that could kill a body and the spirit. You see,
yep.
you get killed because that's what Jake is mostly afraid of.
Right.
Dying, because they don't know what lies on the other side of death.
Right.
But through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, you know, we know it. We know what lies on the other side of death, man. You know? But you got men that's in the truth right now that's going to denounce Yahweh Shai. You know, and Lord willing, it's not myself, it's not this brother, and it's not whoever is on the other side of the screen, you know, listening.
Truly believe.
You know, Lord willing, you truly believe, because I think it's 2nd Ezra 15 and 2. You know, it tell you, you don't got to get it, but it tell you, if you want to grab something, grab this for me. This 2nd Maccabees 6 and 8.
Gotcha.
But it tell you in 2nd Ezra 15 and 2, all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness, man. Because they truly don't believe. They don't believe that Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, you know, sent his son to die for us, man, to be the elect. And these people understand the mysteries, right? They know the mysteries. They just not fully convinced.
Yeah.
They, you know, they got some of them on side of us, man. You know, preaching, all right, out there with us on the hedges, highways and hedges, man.
Yep. As you say, as the scriptures say, you know, there's many Judas now.
Right.
You know, it's not just one Judas, the Judas that Iscariot that betrayed Yahweh Shai, right? It's multiple now. You know, it's men, you know, who
crept in unawares.
You know, that the Lord at the point in time that roughly paraphrasing, the Lord is going to tell you that I never knew you. You know, ye what did it say? You workers of iniquity, or you workers of Satan? Roughly paraphrasing.
I know he said, didn't I cast out devils in your name?
Con.
Yeah, you know, they was partaking,
yeah.
Right? They went to the Passover.
Yeah.
You feel me? They went to the, you know, different high holy days.
Yeah.
Okay.
They made it so far but failed the main test.
Right.
You know?
And that's what we coming into. You know, and that's the premise of this video, man. That's the premise of this video. Are you ready for that main test? And though we asking you this, we asking ourselves this in like manner. Are we ready? You know?
Yeah.
It's not some fly-by-night shit, man, where Jake could just, you know, wing it until nah, this ain't that, man.
Like I add to you, you know, what brothers and sisters will start noticing too, is that, man, when Jake turned his camera on, man, you know, first and foremost, it's like how it looks. We look like we talking to a mirror. You know, we talking to ourselves first and foremost. You know, that's kind of like a reminder prep of you know, before you leaving the house, you talking to yourself in the mirror. All right, you ready for the day? Let's get this done. Let's go. But now, you know, we preaching the word. You know, we can't be hypocrites of this thing, Lord willing, we're not. You know, if we have to put our life down for the Lord, man, you know, that's what it's got to be. You know. But, you know, when we had the account with Yahweh Shai asked the Lord, you know, is there any other way?
Right.
But Nah, the Lord didn't answer. So he knew that he had to gird up his loins and, go through that. Through that pain, through that death.
I got two more.
Yeah.
Get the
second Maccabees.
The second Maccabees. Yeah.
Second Maccabees chapter 6 and 8, you say? Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices.
What that sound like? The MOTB, the NWO, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It says, for there were two women brought who had circumcised their children, whom when they had openly led around about the city, the babes handing at their breasts, they cast them down headlong from the wall.
So if I could say this real quick, circumcision is the practice of a Hebrew custom. That's part of our custom, all right, to circumcise our man. Look at this fucking nigga, man. I wish them fucking seagulls would peck his brain on his head, bro. It's Salakia, bro. I wish I could turn the camera, man. This shit is sick, and this is why we gotta get out of here, bro.
Yeah, Jake sick.
That's some sick shit, man. Then he feeding them. Man, that's sick. But like I was saying, Salakia, my fucking brain and got off track.
Read again.
Yeah, pocket shop.
The second Maccabees 6 and 10, it says, for there were two women brought who had circumcised their children. That's what you was talking about, the circumcision.
Right, okay, Salakia, I remember. The circumcision is just a part of our custom, and these two Israelite women were following the customs of their fathers, man. All right? Following the law, statutes, and commandments. That's pretty much it. But they're under heathen rule, under this devil at the time. All right, go ahead.
It says, two women brought who had circumcised their children, whom when they had openly led around about the city, the babes handing at their breasts, they cast them down headlong from the wall. And others that had run together into caves nearby to keep the Shabbat, they secretly, being discovered by Philip, were all burnt together because they made a conscience to help themselves for the honor of the most sacred day.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Philip was the father of what's this guy's name, man? It's slipping my mind. But he an Edomite, man. Philip is the father of Alexander the Great, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Philip is the father of Alexander the Great, which he is a Agagite, which goes back to being an Edomite, man. All right, but nevertheless, hey, Israelites in the ancient world, okay, they had to hide, you see, in order to, participate in our culture, all right, observing a Shabbat day, right? Also, circumcising your children and everything else that comes with, being an Israelite. And that's that's coming back. That behavior is coming back. We're gonna get persecuted because we don't bow the knee before Baal. Right? Bow the knee before the MOTB. Bow the knee before, these Edomites, man. And their idols. Okay? That's coming back.
I got you. Real quick, just to clean all that up. First Maccabees 1:1, Philip is the father of Alexander.
There we go.
First Maccabees 1:1, and it happened after the Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim and smitten Darius, king of the Persians, the Medes, that he had reigned in the stead, the first over Greece. Philip was the father.
He's a Macedonian, which when you go into that whole breakdown, the Macedonians are Agagites, which actually goes back to being an Edomite. So this was an Edomite persecuting Israelites, man. But Babaka Shaka is obviously, you see, we getting closer to the house.
Yeah.
It's Matthew the 10th chapter. Yeah, 10 and
set variance?
Nah, it's man, don't worry about it, man. We damn near home anyway. But nevertheless, you know, it's a blessing to be persecuted for this truth, man. You know, it's like I couldn't get that last precept I just quoted though, man. The Lord has put us in a position where it's damned if we do and damned if we don't. You know, as we went into the previous lesson. But nevertheless, there's a beauty to this side. Okay, damned if we do.
Yeah.
You see, blessed are they that are persecuted for this, you know, truth. Okay, hey, we're gonna be brought in front of governors, right? Councilmen, leaders of this nation, all right? All for the sake of, you know, proving ourselves to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. Are we willing, you know, to sacrifice everything, man? Families, friendships. You know, you're gonna have friends that are gonna give you up. Family members that are gonna give you up. All right, family members that are relying on you, that, you know, the Lord might see it fit to put in your path that they might have to go in front of you. And you gotta be okay with that. And you have to be prepared for that, man. Yep. You know, in the premise of this lesson, we just was, you know, dialoguing over lunch. You know, and Jake just gotta ultimately be prepared for the I'm not even gonna say the unexpected, because we expect this. Right. That's a part of this walk, man. You know, of parents, grandparents. You know, this devil is gonna use all of these things as an asset to see if you're gonna flip. You know, but that's all I have, bro.
I got one quick one.
Go ahead.
That's off on it. Job 38:3.
Yep.
Gird up now thy loins like a man, for I will demand of thee, and answer thou me.
Yeah, you gotta be a man. It's not child's play. Okay. This truth involves death. All right. This truth involves betrayal. You know how they said it on Halo? Yeah. Betrayal. You know? That's what this truth involves, man. A lot of people gonna betray you. A lot of people gonna, you know, fuck over you. Yeah. A lot of your family gonna feel betrayed because of what you chose to believe in. They do it now. Right. This is just a prelude.
Stuff is important to your family. You can't get to your family, you gotta do all this.
Yes. Nigga. Motherfucker. This is more important than my family. But the beauty of it is they don't understand that you actually, you know, you're really making a name for it, for your family. I remember you did a lesson a while back going into your legacy. Yeah. You know? You leaving a legacy for your family. Yeah. You know, even though it's not going to be remembered on this side, but nevertheless, you can say, hey, these people can say, damn, you know, in this past life, this was my son, or, you know, I'm a part of this family. Yeah. This royal bloodline. You know? But, you know, that pretty much was all I had, man. You Akim and Agua, that, you know, small amount of Agua that believe in all truth and sincerity, man. Remember, it's kosher right now. It's smooth, calm, and collective, but it will heat up. Make sure you're grounded and rooted before that time come, man. Because according to the book of Daniel, the 12th chapter, we're about to see a time like no other. All right? So this devil gonna try you in ways. You know, we haven't been tried, bro. We've been preparing for the trial. That's it. That's all we've been doing. Yeah. But nevertheless, man, we're approaching our destination. You know, so prior to getting out of here, we like to give all glory, honors, and prayers unto Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai Ba'ashim Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to hopefully like Shalom. And a Baba Ball.